No, that happens.
Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Afternoon, depending on where you're at. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you maximize your mindset and focus on your money. Shmoneys, as Constance would say if she was here. Today, we are exploring a shift happening in relationships and dating dynamics. New reports show that nearly 63% of men under 30 are single, and a growing number of them are not actively seeking a relationship. In the Black community, especially, these men are prioritizing financial independence, autonomy, and emotional safety over marriage and family. But why is this happening, and what does it mean for our future? Today, we're going to break it all down and discuss how these changing priorities are influencing the way that men see themselves in the world of love, relationship, and society. All right. So I'm not going to do this by myself. I have beautiful queens here in the building. We have Aisha, who is a financial expert, and we have Shalaye, who is a real estate expert, and we have me, Dr. LaNée Javette, who is a brand your brilliance expert. And so we were talking about this behind the scene. Shalaye was saying, I had never even heard this. I didn't even know that this was a thing. So when you hear this, 63% of men under 30 are single. What were your thoughts when you first heard it? I think you might be on mute. Am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, no, we can hear you. I was muted. Sorry. So my first initial thought was, like you said, I was like, oh, I hadn't even heard that. What stood out to me was they're single, under 30. Okay, that makes sense. They're they're young, but not wanting to have a relationship and not wanting to have children. That's the thing that kind of like struck me as a little odd. Like, oh, okay, really? So it was a little odd to hear that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Aisha?
Yeah, when I heard it, when I first saw the topic, and I was like, wow. And I was taken aback by the percentage, but I wasn't surprised because I have a son and he's now going to college. And so I'm very interested in learning about what's the next step for a young man. And my husband and I were raised in a different era. The era now is different, so you have to understand how they think, what they're thinking. And I saw this show about something similar that was very eye-opening. So then I said, I can see why that is. So I was trying to see if I can find the name of the doctor that spoke about this, but I couldn't find it. But we have to start thinking about these things really, really. So I'm so glad we're going to talk about that today.
Yes.
I like that. So the first thing I thought about was why? Like, why is this happening? Why is it that men under 30 are having this problem? Even that, is it a problem? Like, is it an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to the chat a little bit. You guys over in the chat, you guys can tell me why do you think it is? And then I want to go around the room because I have my own concepts and ideas on why that is. TZ Frank says, because these modern women are a headache to deal with, too rude, too entitled, and we don't deal with single mothers. Ooh, Jesus. We don't want to take care of someone else's child. We want our own family. That's a different outlook for a young person under 30, right? We'll talk about that. Life Escape says, peace of mind from the reality. whose lifestyle choices that women offer. Julia Tripp says, we are tired of you. No count. Irresponsible, heat-seeking ninjas. Too many baby mamas. No goal. Predatory men. I'm done. Rachel Marin said, first, women should take accountability for the men they choose to have sex with. That's what happens when you weaponize the courts against men. I don't blame Black men at all. Armando says, could it be the divorce rate or that 80% of divorce are initiated by women? So I think this is a very layered conversation, right? I think it's that are the people under 30 are looking at the relationships that we're having and our age. They're looking at what we've done, how we've lived our lives, how we've been in and out of relationship, or how we've interacted with each other. I think that they're looking at social media. They're listening to these fly-by-night relationship gurus that come up. And I think that it is just, we're getting away from traditional values and the importance of Black love and Black family and family structure, right? And so I think that it's some of those things. So why do you think so many men under 30 are single and not actively looking for relationships, Shalaye?
So I think, like you said, it's a multi-layered thing, and is it an issue? Like you said, okay, there's one thing for a study to be done, right? And a study is done whenever this study was done, 2024, whenever it was done. Was it also done in 1992? And what's the difference there, right? It makes sense to me that, and it makes sense to me that men under 30, a lot of them are single. That makes sense. They're young. And in the day and age that we're in, the focus on financial stability is more prevalent than it maybe was, 20 years ago. And that's for a lot of factors, because of inflation, because, social media is a big part of that. So that on one hand makes sense. My other end of it, and I have a question, was this study done, are we talking about Black men? Or are we talking about all men? Did it differentiate?
I believe, let me
Black
just
men.
go back. It says it does not say specifically Black men. 63% of men under 30 are single, and a growing number of them are not actively seeking a relationship. In the Black community especially, these men are prioritizing financial independence, autonomy, and emotional safety. But we can look around.
Black
My son is 24, he'll be 25. I was already pregnant. I already had a kid at this age.
Right.
A lot of these young people around me, I'm seeing 23, 24, 25, 26, not married, no kids. My son's talking, he's like, I don't want kids. It's too, like, just the conversation around the whole thing is different.
I think a part of it too, and again, multi-level, multi-pronged conversation and issue, is that, like you said, 23, 24, 25, 26 isn't what it was really when we were younger and when our parents were younger. Like, I look at my parents, they got married. My dad was 19 and my mom was 20. I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't even, 19 and 20, I'm like, I cannot even fathom. Like, that is not something that I'd want to do. So you said you had your son at, how old were you when you had your son?
I was 23 when I gave birth in July, and I turned 24 in September.
Okay, so you were 23, 24. And at that time, even your parents' generation, that would have been kind of them getting started late. You know what I'm saying? And then you had at 23, 24, and your son's probably like 23, 24, I cannot fathom. So I think that it's also a generational thing where they are just building other things before, like, marriage and family at this point in time in history, and that's just a generational thing. I also think that part of the issue, maybe that because it's a generational thing and because we learn from the generations before us, I think a part of the issue just with men on a larger scale is that they're really not prepared to be with the woman of today's generation because of what they were taught women were in those previous generations. So this is like, wait a minute, I've got to show up and do X, Y, Z, and I've got to be emotionally, available and secure in myself and I haven't really done that work in order to be in that type of relationship. So this might not be for me.
I think that's an age thing, though. And I think if we're being honest, the men of our generation hadn't done that work either. Like, we hadn't done that work. If I look at myself back in my 30s, I was a hot mess. I was not prepared. I like to think I was, but in hindsight, I can look back and be like, man, I was raggedy. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm a better version of myself today. But you brought up a good point that I want to take to Aisha about with regards to independence, right? And financial goals and things like that, that the younger generation is more focused on. Romantic relationships, like committed relationships, are not the focus as much as career independence, being able to take care of themselves and pursuing, quote unquote, the American dream, if you will. Aisha, do you think that Black men prioritizing career and financial goals over romantic relationships is a good thing? And or what happens when we do that, when we postpone relationship for financial goals and or career success? What does that do? Because we're going to make the money, but when we think about Black love relationships, we know that two are better than one. So if you're building your financials all by yourself, how do you then bring what you have with somebody else, and or does it have an effect?
That's right. Just like you said, this topic is so multifaceted, and when it comes to the aspect of wanting to have a career and the financial stability, absolutely, I can see that everybody, especially with social media, showing us all the different. Oh, look at how this person is living. Look at what they have. Look at what. So we have this comparative society now. So if somebody is just starting out, they don't even think about doing anything because they feel, oh, look at that person. See what they have. I want that too. So why am I going to want to settle down when I know I can do this and do that to get to that place? Not understanding that the greatest value of we have is time, and time is passing by. Time is passing by and passing by, and we just never know. But I think one thing for me, because again, I have a son, and I've been looking already just to see how the young men today think, so that I can help navigate my son with what I know, of course, pulling my husband in. So if I find something that I think is valuable, that I think they should both watch as men, I emphasize, guys, you have to watch this. I know it's uncomfortable, you have to watch it. But this doctor said that do we notice that men are not getting married any longer? They don't want to be put. Literally, that's how we started this conversation. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but he said it is the onset of pornography. Pornography is so inundated today and it's so accessible. So they use it to just numb themselves so that they don't need to worry about having a relationship with anybody. There's no accountability. Nobody knows. They don't what they want. So they're not desiring, looking for someone to work anything with. So they just focus on, as long as I'm fine, I can just go make money and I'm fine. I don't need anybody's drama. I can pick and choose anyone I want, whatever I want, whatever I want, any day, anytime. No complaints, nothing. Yeah. So it is changing the brain of the men. So they're not thinking about being a man to have a family to protect them, because they don't need to do that. Pornography is accessible everywhere, and their brain is changing. That shook me. So I said, my family has to watch it. So we have to be honest as what is deeply happening. So that is making them numb. So as they numb themselves out, why should I care about paying for your lunch or dinner? Why should I care about courting you? Why should I care about, and then you have a child too? That's not my problem. It's about me. I'm satisfied. I can now take care of myself, and I want to be like that person that has a fancy Lamborghini, and that's it. I can pick whatever girl I want any day, anytime, right there in front of my my virtual screen, and I'm done. It's really scary. But he said that is what is happening. As a doctor, he sees a lot of patients, and they talk about it, and they're confused, but they just focus on now working to make money. So no, don't care about women anymore, families, nothing.
So man, you brought up a lot of good points. We're going to go to commercial. We're going to come back. We're going to keep this conversation going. We'll be right back after this commercial.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with FlyNubianMoney.com.
So know and grow with FlyNubianMoney.com. I love that video. All right. So thank you so much to you guys tuning in. We love you guys and we appreciate you guys for tuning in to us every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. Downloading Spotify, listening to us there. Make sure you give us reviews, all the love, and then just tuning in every day. I'm going to come over to the chat, but before I do that, we want to go to this video and then we'll be right back.
I believe there are levels. Could David Shands today, or somebody, your single twin, could he go today and date the Olive Garden waitress?
Yes, but I think it would be about a little bit of control, because at this time in my life, I would always go after that because I feel like there's a higher level of respect and I don't have to meet a certain demand.
You feel like,
if I'm being honest,
she would have a higher level of respect.
Correct.
And you don't have to meet her demand.
Correct. So if I'm going higher, or somebody that's like really doing their thing, I feel like I gotta step it up, and I can't. I gotta like be careful or watch my mouth how I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I never really wanted to be
watch
that.
how you talk to me, baby.
But if it's the little baddie at the Popeyes drive-through.
So are you suggesting that people who work in fast food or low-level waitressing positions, they are the low-hanging fruit of the dating pool?
My answer is no, but from my perspective, it's easier accessibility. It's like an easier path.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can impress you with the little bit of something that I got. So, I mean, I think that's why, there's like powerful.
So men then pick, and powerful men, alpha men specifically, pick women that they can afford.
That they can control.
Okay, so not that they can afford, but that their finances allow them to control.
Yes.
Control.
So,
Okay.
Where do we begin? When you see that video, when you watch that video, Shalaye, what's your first impression?
I kind of just had my mouth open the whole time, and it's what's that statement, like, I'm shocked but I'm not surprised. Like, I'm shocked and I'm grateful that this man actually just came out and said it, right?
That's what I said when I first saw it. I was like, at least he's honest.
At least he's honest. And I want women to really hear this, because, and I don't want to generalize all women or generalize all Black women, but the majority of women that we know, and we may be included in that pool, have had an experience with men where we've either seen it or we've experienced it where they want control. And I just wrote down a whole bunch of notes. You don't have to meet a certain demand. But what does that say about you as a man? That you're just willing to be like, okay, I'll go with the easy option because I don't have to be the best version of myself. I don't have to try. I don't have to rise to the occasion. I don't have to be anything but mediocre at best. What does that say about you as a man? I feel like what I believe a real masculine man is a man who strives for something, is a man that has a certain standard. And I feel like, and I'm trying to parse my words because I'm not trying to, on one hand, I don't care about offending you, but on another hand, I don't want to generalize, but I feel like a large percentage of the male population right now is really lazy, and they just don't want, like you were saying, the porn is just access. It's access to a body. It's access to an illusion. It's access to get my rocks off, and so I can go about my day. It does not require anything of you emotionally or spiritually or anything. It's like walking zombie. Like, as long as I get this need met, I can go along with my day. But I'm going to guarantee you that later on in life, if you are growing and working on yourself, you're going to desire more than that, to be fulfilled with life. And then at that point, you're going to be, we can swear, right? Your whole fuckboy persona and life that you lived is going to catch up with you. And then you're going to desire that higher level, but you haven't done the work yet. So these women that he doesn't want to reach for, and I can say that kind of our age demographic in the 40s and 50s, we're kind of seeing this more, where it's like men who, on one hand, they do want a real relationship now after years of being a fuckboy, right? But then they have not done the work because they've been a fuckboy. They haven't done the work. And so now you want to try to reach for these women, and these women are, once we see what it is, nah, I'm all set, don't want it. It's really, it's a hard thing. That video was it has my stomach turning a little bit.
It's triggering, definitely.
Watch my mouth. I don't have to be careful with her. Like, this is abusive. So basically you can kind of be abusive towards her emotionally or whatever, right? And you won't really be held accountable, or you feel like you don't have to because she's less than you. It's really concerning.
Okay, so we're going to go to comments, and then I'm going to come to you, Aisha. So it's a mixed bag in the comments. This is interesting. So Black Lexicon said, no for me. I'm not into control by extortion. Okay. Anonymous said, what? So Fergus says, I do not share Buddy's views. Okay. Anonymous says, you don't know what you're talking about, baby, because he liked the view, apparently. Anthony said, none of my Black male friends are dating women. We all have master's degrees and make 100K, and none are with Black women. I don't think that's a flex, but okay.
Right.
Easy Frank says, y'all are absolutely wrong. Okay. Anonymous says, high value men don't want pushback. High value men just want to be quiet. Okay. He said, high value men have done the work. That's why they're high value men. Right. Anthony says, where's the accountability, Black women? Y'all are the least married demographic in America, but you're up here blaming Black men. Now, let's say this. This is not a blame game. We're talking about what the facts say. The facts, the scientific research, the poll says that 63% of men under 30 are not getting married. And a lot of that is due to the fact that they are in pursuit of their financial status, their independence, getting themselves set up, being in position to be a provider and take care of. And so if we go by what the video says that we just watched, and we kind of talked about this last week, where we're talking about a woman, about dating a man and being able to live at his level of provision, right? Mm-hmm. So if he can only provide at 150, living at 150, if he provides at 300,000, living at 300,000. And so you have these men that are hearing these things and are like, well, I need to make money. Mm-hmm. A lot of times men feel that they have to be providers. And if they cannot provide, then it damages, it messes with their manhood, it emasculates them. And so what they're out here doing is, well, let me go make the money. Mm-hmm. And in going out to make the money, relationship has to go on the side. Women have to go on the side.
But is that the real reason? Is it because they're going after the money, or is it really because, and they all, we're not putting anyone in a box, but could a large percentage of them believe what this man believes? Well, unless it's easy for me, I'm just checked out right now.
I think you have a mix. Aisha, what do you think? Do you think societal pressures, like the expectation to be a provider and finances, impact a Black man's decision about relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I love this topic, because it's very, very, very multifaceted. You can go one way or the other, in this discussion, and that's why I love it. And for me, because I'm a mother of a son, I understand. And we have to have this conversation. We have to be honest about it. We have to be open about it. And there's no blame game. It's just the facts, what is happening. And somebody was asking, well, why is it that Black women are the least married demographic? That's because Black women, we work hard. We try to do good by our family, so we are always constant. We're always there. So now we need the Black men to stay, to also show up, right? So there's no blaming anybody. The thing is, whether we like it or not, so this society, for me being from a different country, I can totally see that this society has ways of doing things that causes consequences that they're not intended, but it happens. Whether you like it or not, eventually these things will catch up. This was happening, right? When our men are taken away from the home and locked up, and then that's all. Then and then the women have to step up and take care of the family. So they have to be father, mother. They have to be stronger. It's just natural. So she takes this role that is not natural, and then it becomes her persona, because your brains has to change, because that's what you've been doing for so long. And then the men are not there, and then the men come, and then the men think you're too strong. Then you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do, right? So it's just crazy things happening between, and then now somebody that wants to make money, they bring pornography so that you can watch it all day and do nothing, and then think you're okay. You don't have to look for a woman, you don't have to take care of a woman, you have to, so many things. And everything we're saying is true. Somebody say, what are Asian women? I don't care which woman you marry, but at the end of the day, is these things are truth, and we have to ask ourselves, now, what are we going to do to make it better? And what is it? What are we thinking about? What is the next generation? Because I'm thinking about that, because I have a son, and I want to make sure that he's a good model young man, and to think about his future and people that will be in his life. It's not just about him. I want to make money, so I don't care about a family, right? So these are all important points that everybody's making. But at the end of the day, how are we going to make it better, right? And make sure that even if I want to make money for my family, and I'll look for a woman that respects me, that adores me, that respects me, and I also feel the same about her. I desire her, I want her. But if all these other things happen behind the scene, how can that happen? So everybody has to do some work somewhere, all of us, right? And it requires sacrifice.
Yeah.
The women say, I'm going to sacrifice to make sure that we do this. It's not about just, oh, well, that's it. But we have to still try, because I believe that, you know what? We have to do the work, and we have children that we are raising, and we can't just do what only pleases us. It's not possible. That's not a good thing to do. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
All righty. So there's a lot of good comments in our chat that I want to address. There's some really good questions being asked. David Anthony, you've made some great points. We're going to come and talk about that. But first, we're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to dig into some of your guys' questions in the chat.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Have to struggle. She coming. So I want to talk about some of you guys have made some really good points in the chat. We're going to have real dialogue today. Before I get to our comments, I want to go to some of the comments that were actually on that video, and then we're going to come and talk about and have a conversation with you guys over in the chat. The best way to be. I'm 35 and have no kids and can do whatever I want. Daniel said 38, no kids, no wife, close to 200K yearly income. I have hobbies. Life is the sweetest. Homie Golf said 35, no kids, never married, 2 businesses, traveling and golfing every week, chilling with no headaches. It's the way to go. Excuse me. Settle down on one's own terms, not based on society's expectations. Jamal says, I'm married with kids, no complaints. We can flex too. Okay. So it was more leaning towards the you know what I'm saying? I'm doing life. I'm straight. I'm good. No headache. I wanted to go to some of these comments over here because I think you guys made some good points. I wanted to see some of the ones. C. White said there's no fathers or grandfathers to teach them how to be men. If they had no kids and aren't married, isn't that a good thing? I think in a way it's positive. We don't need any more out of wedlock babies, so it's a smart choice. Let's see. wrong. It's not porn. Black men simply are no longer seeking to marry Black women. Anthony David, that's who I'm looking for, or having kids with them. I think that too often we blame Black women, but we're going to have that conversation. I don't think it's a Black women issue as much as it is a societal issue, a social media issue, a quote unquote Kevin Samuels issue, a we don't know what we don't know. We can't have what we haven't seen. And so we're creating situations that we don't know enough about, but we're going to get to that too. There was something in here. Marriage has become a liability for these young men. Anthony says the facts say the Black women are the least married demographic. Care to ask yourself why? I want to address this. Why is not just the Black man, but no man is trying to marry Black women? Please address this. Oh my God, this is a great shout out, and I want to talk about it. Me personally, because I can only speak for myself, I have always thought that those that marry outside of their race are the weaker of the people, right? I have thought that Black men who date white women are taking the easy route, and I have thought that Black women who date white men are taking the easy route. I just have felt that way. And maybe it's martyrism. I only date Black men, only. And I only have. I do believe that the dynamics of two people who have the same lifestyle, life struggles, who have experienced the same thing, I think that matters. However, I say all that to say, as I have gotten older, I have come to operate from a perspective of love who you want, to each his own, right? It's not for me to dictate it or say or to judge who and how someone loves. That's your place, your business, your household. You got to wake up and see yourself every morning. It's not for me. But I will say this. In being that you have the opportunity and the choice to love who you love, it never gives somebody the right to then turn around and shit on the race that you wake up and see every morning. As a Black man,
Amen,
who came out of a Black woman who I'm assuming you love as your mother, it does not get then. The thing about interracial relationships or Black men who date other races is that they do it and then turn around and say, fuck Black women. That's tacky. It's disgusting. It's disrespectful. Date who you want to date. Love who you want to love. You don't have to then turn around and say, and this is why, and point the fingers and all those things. It's unnecessary. Because at the end of the day, a Black man and or a Black woman who is married to who they want to, they love that person.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
You just don't have to then turn around and be like, F the other person. That's cool. Love who you want. We all deserve love. If you get someplace else, that's fine. But then don't be disrespectful and rude and call out and this is why.
And
that's
what's the root of that?
Makes me janky.
And what's the root of that? I feel like there's a wound. There's an unhealed wound there while you feel the need, for anyone who's doing that, feel the need to turn around and do that. Because if I'm dating someone, I'm dating them because I like them. I love them. If I'm with them, I marry them. I love them. That's not, like you said, trash on this other situation. It's just I'm dating this person because I like this person. But when the lens is put around, look here, this is why I did that. Then do you even really love that person? And what is this wound that's unhealed that you haven't healed? It's, I don't know.
Dr. LaNée, I'm so glad you said that, because reading some of the comments too, and like you say, it's okay to love whoever you love, but it's not okay for you to look down or jump down on the people that you come from. Because that's the first thing I thought about. Your mom is a Black woman. So what are you saying about that? It's okay to love whoever you want to love, but it's not okay to say this and that. Let's focus on the societal problem, which we know that's why we're dealing with this. It's nothing to do with anything particular. It's the way things have been set up. These are the consequences for all those things, right? And then it's causing this to happen. The men were not home because we're imprisoned. And then the women have to step up doubly to take care of their boys and all this stuff. It's nothing to do. So then that causes now women to be a certain way. And then now they might come. So really, it's just a societal thing that's happening. Me, I'll speak for me. I will say, because sometimes I'm not talking about my family because that's our private place and we respect everybody's family here. I didn't marry for my race. I have 7 Black brothers that I love. My father is a Black man, but my husband is Irish Italian. Okay, we've been married for 23 years now. When I married my husband, it wasn't because of his race. It was the values that we shared together. I never in my life thought I was going to marry outside of my race. Never. It never crossed my mind. But when I met somebody at church that worked for the faith I believe, everything I believe, worked and we married. So even their family and my family, we never, it's not a discussion like, oh, you're better than me. No, none of that. Right? That's because we're coming from a place of loving human beings, of who we are. It's nothing to do with this one. And now I don't look down on my family. Are you kidding me? My family, to me, is the best family, whether you like it or not. And they're all in Africa. They're all Black people, 100%. When we go, that's who we are. That's not going to go away. And I will never look down on my people. Never.
Yes.
It's so. It's to me, that's like actually you're not respecting yourself when you do that, because it doesn't make any sense, right?
I'm so glad you shared that.
So I'm
Because
so glad you, Dr. LaNée, brought it up, because you said I had one mindset many years ago, but then as I got older, you have to love who you love. Like I never thought I was going to marry somebody out of my race. Never crossed my mind, but it happened. Then what? Does that mean I'm going to start looking down on my people because of that? As a matter of fact, I'm the number one person that pushes about my people. I care about my people so much. I don't care what anybody says. I only focus on what is happening. How can we fix the problem and stop shitting on each other? Because guess what? Other races don't do that to themselves. They don't.
No.
They don't. Somehow we think it's a good thing to shit on our people because there's things that we have to fix. Let's stop doing that. Respect each other. Find a way to be dignified, to do things that are right. If something is wrong, let's correct it. Let's be the wise people to come together to correct it. And stop worrying about, oh, Black women are this way. To me, I love my sisters. Whether I like it or not, I love them, because they are the women that God created first. They are the givers of life, of everything. So if you actually bag on them, take a look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, wow, what kind of a mother did I have? Because you know what? That's who you are, whether I like it or not.
So I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on real fast. There's a couple of quick comments I wanted to talk about. I know other races of women, they are not peaceful. They have agents in their families. Somebody else, this is why Asian women are becoming heavily desirable, because Asian women are meek and they don't push back on men. Somebody talked about Latina women and At the end of the day, I want Black men to be happy. At the end of the day, I want Black women to be happy. Would I like that to be Black men and Black women so that we could have Black love and Black excellence? Absolutely. That's what I pray for all the time, every day. But at the end of the day, I'm about the community. And so I want us to be civil. I want us to be able to communicate. I want us to be able to heal. I want us to be able to have good conversation. If you don't want a Black woman, that is your space to have. But you have Black sisters, you have Black children. Even if you get with a white woman, you have a Black daughter. And how you talk about and how you treat Black women, she will one day see, she will one day feel. So if for no other reason than your Black daughter, have some respect for Black women. That's all I would say. Okay. If you make me host, I probably can. Let's go to this video. I believe we have another video that we're going to watch really quickly before we go to commercial.
Amen. There was a study called from the Pew Center Research conducted a study that said 63% of men under age 30 would rather stay home and watch porn than go on a date. Men said they are getting their needs met without having to go on a date. Would men rather stay single than be with a woman is the question.
That's what they're saying, pretty much.
63% of men.
I think they're cheap.
Yeah, they just ain't got no money.
They don't have money, which you should get your money up before you start dating. So it is cheaper to sit home and beat your meat than actually go out and find actual women to hang out with.
That's a sad reality.
I disagree.
Why? What do you think?
Is it less of a headache to have to deal with a woman or something?
There it goes. Like, it's a headache. Now I got to take you out. I got to hear what you had to tell your whole day.
That's why you take out people you actually like, and then you don't feel that.
Yeah, but then I got to get to know you first to like you, right?
Yeah.
So how do I get to know you?
Call them.
So you rather hand?
Hey, listen, I'm married.
You always gotta say. Okay, so if you wasn't married,
I'd probably beat him by me at 100 miles an hour.
There was a study called from the Pew Center.
Okay. So now that I've seen the clip that this whole conversation is about, I don't necessarily think it's porn per se, as much as it is that they don't like. I'm gonna say it how I'm gonna say it. These ladies under 30 is wilding out. You got to take me out. You got to feed me. You got to make 5 times more money than I make. You got to give me experiences I've never had. You got to take me places I've never been. Social media has created little monsters under 30 and some under 50 and some over 50. Let me not just say under 30. I love women. I am a woman, right? But some of this social media pandering, in my humble opinion, has got us out here looking crazy. And so I don't blame some men that be like, I'm good. I'll just go it alone. Go ahead, Shalaye. I see you looking.
Is that real life though? Because I don't know any of these women. Like, I get the whole social media, and anyone is a publisher nowadays. Anyone can put anything out or whatever, and then it gets to the masses. Is that real? Is that I would love a study to be done on the, women who are requiring all of this to date a guy. I don't know. I know a lot of women under 50. I know women over 50. I know I'm even friends with young girls in their 20s, and, I hang out with them. I don't know these women. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. Obviously it does. Is this a cultural thing by state? Certain cities are like this? Like, because I am just like, who are these women, young women too, who are requiring a man to make 5 times more than her and take her on luxury vacations, and this is just in the get to knowing phase. And y'all live in other places. Like, is it like that in your city?
Do you think it's a small population? And I'll give this to Aisha. Do you think it's a small population? Because if I have often operated from the I don't know who these people are perspective, but the reality is these people are out there. So we have a small pocket of people that we know compared to the masses that are out there in the world. And I think that the more that I'm like trying to get tuned into what's going on, I'm starting to see it more. You know how the algorithm works. So once you watch one video, there's this rabbit hole of this ideology and this thinking. I definitely think you have the Derek Jacksons and the Kevin Samuels and the of the world who are pandering content to men and women. And people aren't relying on themselves as much anymore. But also we're looking at other relationships of people who maybe we don't want to mimic, who maybe somebody got taken advantage of, or child support, or whatever the case might be. And so I think the younger population is not wanting to make the same mistakes as their parents or as people that they think have made different choices and decisions. Let me see something. I think she's going to say commercial. Aisha, we're going to come back to you. We're going to take a commercial, and I'm going to have you come back and answer that question as soon as we come back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Booyaka. Okay. So Aisha, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't know many women like that too, that focus on the money and say, this is what I want. So I don't know that many women, but in my circle, I don't know. I believe that the women that I know, they just like regular women, they are working hard and they're looking for good men that they want to be married to. That is not what they think about. And I think that, again, social media, like you said, social media is one of the biggest things that's happened that's made this seem as if everyone is successful, everyone is making money but me. So I have to make sure I live by this particular standards because I think they're all making it and I should make it too. When we know that is not true. What you see on social media half the time is all lies. They're not true. There's very little bit, especially when somebody's overly showing off. You have to really ask yourself, why are you overly showing off. There's no need. But people see that and they think that's real and they want to mimic and copy that lifestyle, and so have a lot of demands. But one thing I was thinking about is, even growing up in my own culture, I've never met any woman that doesn't want to be taken care of. I'm sorry. I've never met any woman that say, oh no, I just want to be here, do my own thing, you do your own thing. Naturally, women want to be with a man that will take care of them, because that's how we've been created innately. And then when we have a man that takes care of us, and we know that he really loves his wife and takes care of her and wants the best for her, she will kiss the ground he walks on. It's just natural, because she sees that the way he just takes care of her, the way he loves on her, the way he protects and cares and provides for her. She just wants to also do the same towards him. It's just a natural progression of things. But if it's mismatched, then it's difficult. And that's why culture matters. American culture has created a chasm between the men and the women. It has, whether we like it or not. So it's causing a lot of rift between the men and the women. While if you go to other countries, because they don't have that capitalist way of thinking where let's see how much we can make, how much we can do. So they don't separate families. It's always this togetherness, and you have a culture around you to protect that. They always have that, oh, the women are nicer. No, it's because the culture raises you that way. While here, it's difficult. And then the more we bring new things into the mix, it makes it even more difficult. Now the social media, now it's access to porn any second, any day, any time. Like the guy was saying, I will do something for 1,000 miles and not care, right? So these are the things that the society brings that causes a lot of disunity in friendship, in family, in marriage. So we have a long way to go, but I believe that to come together, it's all about respect and really understand that this is happening, and I'm playing a part. I'm playing a role in this. What is my role? How am I going to make sure that I do my part to make sure this doesn't continue in my own little space, in my family space, so we can begin to understand that, look, this is something that is happening that is not right. How can we fix this? Right? But yeah, I think social media is definitely.
So one of the things I want to talk about, and we are going to go to another video and stats, but who put this video up? Black Lexicon, who is on it today. Let me hip you to some food for thought for you picnic baskets. People wired for overachievement have the worst relationships in the world because they see no equality. Brady, Oprah, Jordan. Do you think, based kind of on what we're talking about today, for Black men with no kids, no marriage plans, under 30, are we looking at a time where achievement, success, providing is taking precedence over family structure, men and women? I also feel like society has pitted the Black man against the Black woman. We're competing with each other. Yeah. And if we're looking at the Black man as our competition, and the Black man is looking at us as his competition, he's not trying to, and this is a question. I'm not making a statement. It's as if society, social media, the way that things have been set up, they keep us competing with each other. And if I see you as my competitor, then relationship and family and settling down doesn't become as important as me going out here and making this money, because I got to win. I got to be able to provide. I got to be able to do all these things. And then as women, we're making these demands. You got to be able to win and you got to be able to provide. But if you don't, and if you can't, I'm gonna go out here and get it for myself too, right? And I think that plays. It is one of the downsides to be a high achieving or successful woman, because I was having this conversation the other day. As you become more successful and you scale and you go higher and you make success your priority, the pool of available men becomes smaller. But as a man succeeds and scales and goes higher, his opportunities for women opens up in his race and others. So spending that time to work on yourself under your 30s to become successful, to do these things mentally makes sense. But we know that when two are together and you have two people working in the same path, you actually go further. Let's go to this next video, and then we're going to come back and we're going to look at some chat, and we're going to get some answer some questions from the queens.
I've seen a lot of videos from women and saying that they'll go to events and there's never any single men there. men aren't approaching and asking women out on dates. And there's a lot of guys complaining, well, women said they choose the, whining and shit like that. That's why you guys aren't getting laid. You're a bunch of fucking whiners. But the two biggest culprits I put on there are video games and online porn. Because for guys have like this sense of quest and adventure. We love Zelda and shit. We all want to go out and conquer something. And video games can fill in that gap for you, that you're not actually going to go out and slay any dragons. You're not going to fight a medium-sized dog. And so you can, fulfill that desire in a small way with the video game. And then like you want a romantic partner or sexual gratification. And like we said, it's difficult to put yourself out there and get dressed and get off the couch and go out and talk to people and get shot down. Or you can scroll through hundreds of videos full of naked women and pick the exact one that fits your mood at that moment. And, sure, it's not as great as actually having sex, but it's good enough. And then you can do it again a couple hours later if you want. And a lot of guys just do that the entire weekend, months and months, years on end. And yeah, that's a big problem too, which is a lot harder to solve than just the economic suppression that people face because of a capitalist. I've seen a lot of videos from women and saying that they'll go to events and there's never any single men there. Men aren't approaching and asking women out on dates. And there's a lot of guys complaining, well, women said they choose the, whining and shit like that. That's why you guys aren't getting laid.
Man, oh man.
That's what that doctor said. And I say too, again, that's what he said.
Okay, Shalaye, I know you were taking some notes. Go ahead.
This is wow.
I think this is
deep. Scared for my daughters.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing and okay. Again, guys in the chat, we're not talking about all men. We're not even talking about all Black men or anything like that. What I'm going to say is based on what I've seen, what I'm hearing on social media, and what, I've experienced and seen in my family and with friends. It sounds like a problem of these particular men who are not looking for a relationship, not really being willing to rise to the occasion. And in so many ways. Now, yes, there's social media influences, so many other influences, but I think it's a thing where they don't have to. They don't necessarily have the responsibility of a family where they have that testosterone that kicks in. I got to go out. I got to do this. I feel like without that responsibility there and without having to even get that responsibility, because you can get that dopamine hit from porn. You can get it from video games. You can get it from just dating different women and stringing people along, not really getting into a relationship. They don't have to. So they're opting not to because of the work that it would take to do that. Even the married guy said it, like, it's too much work. We got to talk to y'all. We actually have to treat you like human beings. He didn't say that. That's me paraphrasing. We actually have to treat you like an equal counterpart or a human being. We have to care for you. And it's like, on one hand, my mouth is open. And on the other hand, it's like, it tracks based on what we're kind of seeing in the community and what's been going on and what women have been saying the problem is. Is this my final thought? Okay. Because it's kind of going into my final thought. But that's what I'm hearing from that. It's very concerning. It's scary. And I'm very concerned for my daughters. Luckily, they're younger. I'm hoping that the next generation of boys will be a little more intelligent, emotionally, and aware. But there's an awareness problem. There's a wounding problem. And there's an issue with not really even wanting to get to the bottom of it or make it better.
So let me go to the chat a little bit, read some of these comments. So Remy's Nice says, too much cat on the market. Couple that with women saying not everyone wants to get married plays a major factor in today's issues. Deborah says, America used to promote white happy family living. They never promoted a happy Black family living. Ooh. Anthony Davis says, Black women have literally priced themselves out of the dating market. Javon Gordon says, it's simple. No one wants to grow with anyone from the ground up. You need a mansion and Lambo for Black women before you can go on a date. Laugh out loud. Agreed. Many Black women, this is from Dr. Vibe Show, and Black men are competing against each other instead of completing each other. That's just one letter, an L. Competing versus completing. Meanwhile, Maria, we already saw Maria Ling Ling. Some on here are referring to Black men as F-boys and not even married to a Black man. Though that we don't
That
care
was
about
me,
that.
not Aisha.
Yeah, again, Black men are getting married. On the other hand, Black women are released. Okay, so I think when we have these types of conversations, when I hear and read and see those types of comments, it literally breaks my heart on both sides, for both parties, the Black man and the Black woman. We're so misunderstood. We do not communicate. There's a lot of hurt and trauma and triggers. There is a lot of beating on the chest. I always say I am a reformed alpha woman. I am a reformed, I don't need a man, I want a man. I am a reformed. My grandmother had 5 girls and all her girls had girls. So no brothers, no uncles, no cousins, male cousins on my mom's side. My dad's side I did, but I grew up on my mom's side. And so I never saw a man come in and how a man should treat a woman. I never saw a successful relationship. I never saw those things. And so I think it was Aisha who said, no woman wants to be taken care of. I didn't. Like, I didn't want to be married and I didn't want to have kids for the majority of my life. I always thought I was going to take care of myself. I didn't even think about it because I never had seen it. And so now I'm dating this man and all he talks about is, I'm going to take care of you. And I struggle with it a little bit because I've never had to give that to somebody else. And I've never seen it, right? And so you have these young people that are coming up under 30 who have seen broken homes, broken families. They haven't seen a woman who is successful but can also relate to a man. They haven't seen a man that comes through and takes care of a woman or prioritizes it. Like there's just all of this trauma that we have created at our level that we're starting to see the repercussions of it in our children. So how do we fix it? That is a great question and that I do not have an answer to other than talking, communicating, talking about our experiences. What did we go through? How did we get here? Why do we feel this way? If we were more honest in the Black community, we would get further. But we come from a school of what happens in this house stays in this house. Don't talk about it. Keep it under the rug. We're not going to tell why we got a divorce. We're not going to talk about why you left the house. We don't tell anything. And so we leave we talk about generational curses. These generational curses happen and these things pass down because nobody wants to talk about it. And because we don't talk about it, we don't heal. And because we don't heal, it reproduces and it keeps going. And we fall further and further from the mark. And so I believe we have, what do we have left? Do we have stats or do we have a video? I think it's stats. There we go. According to Pew Research, 63% of men under 30 are single and many are not looking for a relationship. This demographic is increasingly choosing independence over traditional commitments like marriage. Bureau data shows that marriage rates are steadily declining among younger generations, with the average age of marriage now being higher than ever before. The average age of first marriage in the US is now 30 years for men. So maybe people are just getting more mature. A survey by the American Institute of CPAs reveals that 50% of millennial men prioritize financial independence as a reason to delay or avoid marriage, noting that they want to be financially stable before committing. In 2020, the United States had a record high number of unmarried adults, with 35% of US adults being single. The number is expected to increase, especially as societal norms around relationships and family structure continue to shift. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to save our community? How are we going to save our relationships? How are we going to save our families? That is actually a great talk. We're going to go around and do our final thoughts for right now. But man, it does. It breaks my heart that there's such a huge divide between men and women, specifically Black men and Black women, specifically how we communicate, specifically how we show up, how we love, specifically our level of respect for each other. Specifically, if you're walking down the street and you see a Black man or a Black woman, you don't make eye contact and just say, hi sis, hi king, hi queen, how you doing? Those are the specifics, right? We're going to do our final thoughts around our conversation today. And what can we do to fix it? Shalaye, I'll start with you.
So again, this issue between us, men and women as a whole, is very complex. I feel that definitely society is weighing on all of this. I believe wholeheartedly that social media is a big issue. Like you were saying, LaNée, when you start watching something, you're going to get fed more of what you're watching. So I think that that is a huge issue, and it's skewing the argument one way or another when it comes to online. But it's like the contrast between what happened with us, men and women, what's happening, and what is going to happen. I don't know what the fix is. What I believe part of the fix should be is conversation. This is a big part of the fix. I believe therapy is probably a big part of what needs to be fixed. And us just learning how to communicate our needs better with each other, because I think that that's a large part of why relationships go awry, period, is not getting our needs met. And so if one person's over here not getting their needs met and the other person's over there not getting their needs met, it's just bound to dissolve. So I feel like, let's get some therapy, y'all. Let's start having this conversation, maybe with a non-biased like mediator. Let's start having couples therapy. Let's just start having family. We need therapy, individual and collectively. I am Shalaye with Vital Source Realty in Boston, Massachusetts. I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the continental United States or Canada. You can visit us at vitalsourcerealty.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Shalaye Camillo. And I'll be doing a class with Dr. Boyce on Dr. Boyce Real Estate Club this Friday. We'll have contractor conversations. If you've ever thought about building wealth in real estate and interested in the contractor piece of it, go to, I believe it's drboycerealestateclub.com, and you can sign up for that.
And she's gorgeous she is gorgeous, not according to Sam. She is gorgeous. She's cute.
Hey, Sam.
And she's cute in real life too, like up close in person, just so y'all know. Okay. Anyways, Aisha, go ahead.
Yeah, it's it's a very important topic, and I was reading all the comments. So great, because everybody has something to say, because we understand how this is affecting all of us, whether we like it or not. We're all going to get affected. And for me, as a mother of a son and a daughter, I feel like I'm in this culture, so I have to prepare my kids. So people ask questions, how can we fix this? And it begins with dialogue, communication, and not be afraid to talk about these issues and see how we can help the next generation. Because sometimes if something was not done prior, now we are aware, now we can fix it by communicating and being honest with what is happening and try to gear the situation to a better outcome. So what am I doing? My son, open communication, tell him what is happening, tell him what's going on, and kind of discuss that with him and hear his point of view as a young person. What are you thinking? What are you seeing out there? And then kind of course correct so that he's thinking more as a family person, as a family man, so that when he grows up, he can be a good husband and a good provider and a good protector of his family. And to know that that is a virtual thing to do. And that is what will actually move for the next generation. Because if he doesn't do that, if we don't do that, then we're all going to eventually die off, right? So we want to make sure we protect that. And so that's how I'm going to do my part to help in this space. And also, as women, we're women, whether we are high value women, high value men, at the end of the day, it's sacrifice and the willingness to serve one another. Yes, I'm a professional woman, but I'm also a housewife first. I'm a housewife first. I'm a wife and a mother before anything else. Everything else is just an add-on to what I do. If we start thinking in that space, maybe that will help us as well, so we know what our priorities are, instead of getting things over really building a family and a home, right? So those are my thoughts for things that happened today. And you can find me at aishaverzi.com if you're looking for anything to do with your finances, building your wealth, protecting your wealth. I can help you. And I'm also in the Black Business School as one of the coach there. So you can reach me there as well. And this was great.
Listen, first, let me just say thank you both for being here. And I appreciate you both being so candid and so open about today's topic. I did take down 3 sets of comments from my executive producer. One from Rod that said, there's not one man on this panel, and then they get mad when dudes go to the manosphere. Okay. The other 2 are from Anthony David, We're not going to talk about why Black women are the least married demographic in America. And because y'all don't talk about it, y'all will never heal. You are absolutely correct. Followed by, it's over for the Black community because the Black man has officially checked out from the Black women in America. I want to have that conversation, executive producer. Has the Black man checked out? And I think all of you guys who are on here should come back and tune in and while we have that conversation, because I think what made this conversation so exciting is your guys' involvement, and we can really have dialogue around what is it that Black men think and Black women think, and how do we heal and how can we come together? I want to hear what you guys really think. We cannot have real dialogue and conversation if we get triggered. And I think everybody today, even though some of the conversation was difficult and even though some of the comments were hard to stomach, I think we did a good job of having back and forth dialogue. But we do have a king in our court, Joe. And so when we have that conversation, I think it is important that we have a man on the panel, because Joe does a really good job of representing for the brothers and pushing back and being like, nah, that's not what we think. So that's for my executive producer to say, hey, let's have that conversation and let's make sure that we do have a man on the panel so that we can have true back and forth dialogue between Black men and Black women. Joe is not a simp anonymous. Joe is dope. I love Joe. Anywho, I'm Dr. LaNée Javette. I am a vision execution strategist. I help service-based Black entrepreneurs to brand their brilliance, which is basically those who package and sell their expertise. My clients tell me that I take what's in their head and put it in their hand so that they can live their dreams out loud. And so this coming Saturday, I am going to be partnering with Fly Nubian Money and teaching a class on how to get grants. I'm going to teach you guys my grant formula for free. I don't usually do for free, but for Fly Nubian Money Club, we do it for free this Saturday. And it's not that it's free. It is that you get a 30-day free subscription to Fly Nubian Money Club, and you can come in on Saturday and take this class with us. So I have a program called Granted, where I take you through how to find grants, how to apply for grants, how to position your business and describe your business so that you can get a grant. And then I think it's like 300 grants that you can apply for right now. And I usually only get those out to my clients. But with the environment that we're living in right now, you need to be able to go and get money. You need money to fund your business. They're trying to pull everything. What was that meme years ago? Hide your kids, hide your wife. They try to hide all the money and pull all the money. So there are still grants out there. You can still go and get grants. And I want to show you guys how to go out and get money for your business, to build your business, to start your business. There's money for everything right now. And so if you guys need money for your business and you would like to join us, go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. And I'll kick with you guys on Saturday, answer any questions you have about grants, about positioning yourself for grants, how to write about your business for grants, but more importantly, where to find the money, because that's where people struggle. I'll leave you guys with this. If we don't go out and get the grant money, other people do. And I'm going to tell you what that looks like. There's a lot of money for underserved communities. We are now the underserved community. They don't call us Black anymore, but we're underserved community. And what happens is, if we don't go and apply for the money, people who don't look like us, they go and apply for the money. Let's say it's a $50,000 grant. If we don't apply for it, a Caucasian will go and apply for the $50,000 grant and say, hey, I'll hand this money out to the underserved community. So they'll take that $50,000 grant that they won. They will pay themselves administrative fees, staff, office, whatever, dwindle it down to about 30,000 and then give out 20. Those type of games they playing. So I want you to get all 50. Like, you shouldn't have to go get your money from somebody else after they've taken a chunk off of it. So Fly Nubian Money Club, if you're interested in learning more about grants. Other than that, that is our show for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We're here every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern. This is Fly Nubian Money. You can also check us on Spotify. If you want to know when we go live, you can text the word, look at my producer, she's on it. You can text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948. Again, that's 87948. We do this every week. You can also catch us on Spotify if you can't catch us live, or check us out on YouTube. I'm Dr. LaNée Javette. We're left with Aisha. Shalaye has left the building, but we will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a blessed day. Stay Black, be one, and be beautiful. We'll see you guys later.